Well, hello everyone. Welcome to week 1 of our 12-week mandatory court-ordered anger management seminar. My name is Gary, but you can all call me the Gare Bear. Anyways, why don't we go around the circle and just spend some time introducing ourselves? Why don't you start us off today?
Hey everyone, my name is Steven.
Hi,
Steven. Yeah, hi. So, I'm excited to be here. I guess I had a little incident at my now former employer where I let my temper get the best of me. Phyllis from accounting, she told me that I had a face for radio, to which I replied and informed her that I took 3rd place in my high school beauty pageant. But then she brought up that there were only 4 contestants, and I freaked out on her and threw the water cooler at her. Dang it, Phyllis.
Okay then. Well, who's next? Claudia, why don't you go?
Yes, my name is Claudia. I am here today because I took man out for a night on the town and I squeezed him too tight whilst we were slow dancing. I actually crushed him, but he's now at the hospital. Here I am. I still deeply love this man. Only now he can no longer dance or stand.
Well, thank you for sharing, Claudia. How about you two?
Hey y'all, I'm Bill. This here's my brother James.
Hey y'all!
I'm gonna be honest here, I'm not really sure.
Oh, you know dang well
why you're here, Bill.
You attacked me.
It was a high five.
Whoa. Why don't we calm it down here, bros? We'll work on some conflict resolution here later. Last up, why don't you introduce yourself to us, Wally?
It's Wallace.
My bad, pal. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a nickety name.
Well, don't.
Jeez Louise, I'm sorry. I think we all know why the charming Mr. Wally is here.
What did you say?
He called you Wally again.
Stay out of this, Steve.
It's Steven.
You are kind of cute, Steven.
Alright, class, let's get back on track.
Right after you apologize here to Wallace.
I'm sorry, Wallace.
That didn't seem very sincere.
It was just fine.
You don't know what you're talking about. Guys, can we just try to get along?
I agree with Steve. Why don't we try singing a song together? Sound good? What? I saw that, Bill.
I knew I would hate this class.
Going to my safe place. You're a monster.
Well, you're ugly. Boy.
I don't know. I'm sitting here innocent as can be. We got James with pants
getting
over here.
harassed and attacked, and I don't know what's going on. Bill over here. What's going on? And then we got these two. They're crazy and wonderful. This doesn't even know what he's doing. Quiet! I can't take this anymore.
Wonder what his deal is.
That's a pretty nice camera, huh? Yeah!
So if you couldn't already tell from that video, we are talking about anger today, and we're starting this brand new series on the Sermon on the Mount and just taking a look at some of the key areas that Jesus talked about over the period of the sermon that he gave. But first, let me tell you a quick story. When I was younger, I really wanted a bird. One of the things that my mom would do, we'd go to like PetSmart or something for dog food, and then we'd get to look around at all the different little animals, and I just always wanted a bird. I would go up and I'd look at them, the different parakeets and a parrot and all these different things, and I just wanted a bird. And so one day I decided I would just ask my parents again. I said, can I have a bird as a pet? And they again said no. And this time, I don't know if this was the straw that broke the camel's back or what it was, but I was furious. I was having none of it. I was getting a bird no matter what. So what I did, I made these sheets of paper on the computer that said, I'm getting a bird, and then put a picture of a bird on it, and I printed off like 100 of them, and I just taped them up all over our house, and I was marching around like, I'm getting a bird! And I was screaming, I was throwing the biggest fit that maybe I've ever thrown. It was hilarious to look back on, but it was bad, and it turns out that's not the best way to get what you want, but I just threw the biggest fit that I could think of. I was so angry that my parents wouldn't let me get a bird, and I look back on that story and I just think, Jeff, wow, you handled that situation really well. It's like, no! When I look back on, I see that I was a terrible child. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I was the worst. And I can't help but look back and think, how should I have responded in that situation? Because I think our culture tells us that there's really only two different ways that we can respond to anger. We can either ventilate, just let it all out in one big burst of emotion, or we can control it. I'm a good person, I'm a Christian, I just need to control my anger. But I think control is really just a code word for suppressing or hiding our anger. And the Bible seems to be very clear that we're not supposed to keep our anger in. We're supposed to be aware of it so that it doesn't fester or grow. But let me take a second to define anger. Anger is this energy that is aroused in defense of something good and released against something evil. It's this internal tension that we get when we see something happening that is wrong and you just want to do something about it. It elicits a response. Because there is a big difference between being angry and being short-tempered. Being short-tempered is an immature outburst that does not accomplish anything. It is a chaos creator. Whereas anger, as I mentioned before, is this tension that elicits a response. You see, anger, it can be, and it really should be, productive. It should just push you towards a healthy solution that glorifies God. But what it all really boils down to is our response. Like when we're really angry about something that's done to us, what should our response be? Jesus tells us that our response should be forgiveness, and that we shouldn't hold a grudge. And Paul echoes that in Romans when he tells us that we shouldn't, in response to our anger, we shouldn't be overcome by the evil around us, but instead we should overcome that evil with good. Or think about the times in our lives that we see injustice happening in the world around us that really gets us angry. What should our response be then? Should we go out and hurt those people, attack those people, an eye for an eye? Or would it be more productive to use that energy to come up with a solution? Asking the questions, what am I angry about and how should I respond are game changers in taking those short-term reactions that we have and turning them into healthy and productive anger. Because we live in this world that is just so broken and we're surrounded by so much hurt that it's just inevitable we're going to get angry. But that's okay, because anger itself isn't the problem, it's our response. But the Bible is pretty clear that the appropriate response to hurt is forgiveness. And that forgiveness is something that God so much He wants for us because it is just reflective of who He is and who He created us to be. You see, practicing forgiveness not only releases our own bitterness and anger, but it shows us that when we just stop and think about the weight that it releases, it can be a powerful inspiration. And not only just to us, but also to the people around us, and especially to the people that we forgive.